going on, guys? Jeff in here. Gnevny on the screen, steering gears, and then there is Makarov. Speed in slot 3 and maneuverability in slot 4. The ingenious perk in slot 1 and the makeshift twist and track in slot 2. Why do I have a cruiser commander on my Russian tier 5 tech tree destroyer? Well, reason being is I play this thing like a cruiser. And the benefits that Makarov, the cruiser commanders, provide you are, in my opinion, valuable. Um, so the reason why I have chosen him as my commander is because of the ability to see the closest enemy target. So I will be able to have an idea where my enemy is, destroyer-wise or whatnot. I'll be able to use my speed, which with this build is 39.9 knots pre-boost. So, um, well over 40 plus with the speed boost. 6.9 detectability, 3-second rudder, 11.6 firing range, 5-second reload, and an 8% chance to set fire. So in general, this is a pretty dangerous ship with guns. You're going to see the main guns against enemy destroyers. It absolutely rips them apart. Akatsuki pops up here. And he turns out. So I'm waiting to kind of see which direction he's going to turn. Of course, as soon as I pull the trigger, he hits the island. I was waiting because I thought he wasn't. I wanted to see if he hit it or not. I was going to hit it, and I thought he turned out enough to where he wasn't going to hit it. But of course, as soon as that happens, But here you're seeing why I have chosen this commander and why I like having the ingenious perk. I know exactly how many people are targeting me. I know exactly how many shells in general should be coming my way. And the reason why I have this is because the main guns are your primary source. This is not a Japanese torp boat, right? This isn't something like that. Your main arsenal is your main guns. And what I think this thing is very good at is pushing enemy destroyers with the speed boost, right? You're closing the gap, you're getting in up on this Akatsuki, on the enemies. You take away their chance, their time and space, and you just pound them with the main guns. The main guns are pretty effective, and it's a dangerous ship to be fighting against if you are an enemy destroyer. At the same time, the detectability, while it's 6.9 and it's nothing spectacular for a destroyer, you play this thing like a cruiser, right? Like a mini cruiser, and with that detectability, now we're talking high quality concealment. So don't be afraid, and you're gonna see there it goes. I switched to the AP again. Like I said, this thing you play it like it's a mini cruiser. And what do cruisers do against the broadside cruisers? They citadel them. So again, the main guns don't sleep on them. Now, of course, as Exeter starts to turn out there, he hits me pretty hard with a big salvo, right? So I now use my smoke screen, right? So I'm going to throw this smoke up. I am going to be mindful that torpedoes could have been on the way. I don't necessarily know how close I was or whatnot, so I'm not just going to sit in the smoke screen. But I want to use the cover that the smoke screen provides to start putting out some rounds, try to influence the game a little bit, do what I can. The biggest weakness with this build, in my opinion, is going to be whether or not you have a commander like, say, your standard Russian destroyer commanders, right? So your standard Russian destroyer commanders, they're going to come with the unstoppable perk. Of course, Makarov is not going to come with that unstoppable perk. So when your when your rudder gets knocked out and your propulsion gets knocked out, it's knocked out. You're not going to have that opportunity to still keep moving. So you want to save your repair party for those situations. So you look here in this game, we're down 200 plus points, not looking like a win. I'm looking at the minimap at this point. If you look, we basically have 0 friendly ships in the upper quadrant of the map, which means that that's where all our dead ships are coming from, right? So all of them got sunk up there, which means that they now have what? Basically a free run at the base. So I throw out the notification saying, hey guys, be mindful of the base, protect the base. And I'm not going to start chasing these guys. I want the Florida to get back. I think I tell them to get back. And my goal here is not to sit here and throw rounds out and chase down the Queen Elizabeth that's kiting away and sealing the end of the map. My objective is to now return back toward the base, defend the base, and reassess once that happens. So I'm mindful at this point, and this is what a good destroyer commander and cruiser commander, for that matter, and battleship, really any good player in the game needs to be mindful of the minimap. And I'm not saying I'm good at the game, don't get me wrong. It's not what I'm suggesting in the slightest. I'm average to below average, but it doesn't mean that I can't try to improve. And the best way to improve is to be alert of the minimap, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of the team layouts, the setups, and where ships have been spotted. And the reason why I say that is because if I know, for example, here, there's one destroyer on each team now, right? Because one on each team has been sunk. That last spotted position of the destroyer was on the northern half, right? Where you're seeing. So he should be over here somewhere. And he's not toward the base, because the base isn't being captured yet. So I'm going to keep heading down the middle section here, using my 6.9 kilometer detectability concealment, which is still good, because I can go right underneath the noses of these battleships and cruisers and get to where I want to get to use the guns to influence the game. And get to my enemies, which are my primary targets, i.e. enemy destroyers and cruisers, right? Burning battleships down, fine. Right, this is an aggressive, risky play. So you see, I got targeted, I got drop targeted again, drop targeted again. So somebody's looking at me saying, do I want to take that shot? Do I want to take that shot? There's a 1200K salvo and a fire. So we're using the main guns to annoy, harass, en route to where we want to get to, and that is back to the base to defend and to begin to reassess. So at this point, I feel relatively safe that the base is not going to be contested or threatened, and that the enemy destroyer is not in the vicinity to threaten to contest the base. So again, I'm going to say, okay, let's turn it back around, let's reassess. And what pops up right in front of me? Smoke screen. So, again, looking over at the enemy team, 3 battleships do not have a smoke screen, right? Cruiser, I don't know which cruiser that is in the game, but most likely it doesn't have a smoke screen, which tells me one thing. And it's a York. So now I confirm there by looking that the York does not have a smoke screen. So therefore, this must be the Icarus in the smoke screen. So what am I doing? I throw the speed boost on. I'm over 41.5 knots. I'm closing the distance. I'm going to get in there. Excuse me. I'm going to get in there, and I'm going to go after this Icarus. I'm going to do what my job is as a Russian destroyer, and that is to be a counter destroyer. Right? My job is to destroy and fight enemy destroyers. Icarus gets caught with his pants down, is not expecting me to come up so fast behind him like that. So now he's thrown it and having to scramble a little bit. He still has the smoke screen going up, has that little last remaining bit on the smoke screen. So again, 3-second rudder shift. So what am I doing? I'm changing my direction, right? I'm throwing his torpedoes off. I'm not letting him get clean looks on me. I'm not sailing in a straight line, giving him those quote-unquote clean looks. You don't want that, right? And those torpedoes I threw out, I'm not throwing them out to hit somebody. I'm throwing them out simply to distract and get him to have to look at something else other than me while I'm shooting at him. In these engagements where it's destroyer on destroyer, you're not going to be doing your sinking or your primary damage for the most part against enemy destroyers with your torpedoes. It's going to be who gets the guns chimed in, who gets the guns going effectively, and of course there you see, Icarus goes down. But I also want you to notice too, the biggest weakness of this build was on display right there. And so if he had torpedoes, he could have thrown some out and sunk me. And I've been sunk in this build because of that issue in the past. So now it's my turn to throw the smoke screen out. I got a minute and almost 15 seconds of the smoke screen, right? So I'm going to take advantage of it. We're in okay shape. We're up up by, what is that, almost 100 points now, right? So I'm just going to try to wear some of these guys down, throw some shells out, try to, maybe get a little more damage for myself, and try to prevent them from helping, go after our base. You see the York is on the far north side, challenging the base to a point. I am keeping a mindful eye on him. And the reason why I haven't really gone back aggressively is because we have friendlies in the base, okay? So my idea at this point is I have supreme confidence that they can contest those two. And of course, as you see, we ended up losing another ship, which made it very close. It basically made it an even game. We're up one every tick, right? So a 100-point lead turned into almost a dead even match, right? So very, very, very volatile game here. Very close game, and I think these are the games in general that most people want to be playing. These are down to the wire games, right? These are what we live for. At least I do. But again, I'm still thinking in my head, I believe my team has the ability and will be more than fine to handle that York. So I'm just trying to keep these Californians occupied. We got, 3.5, 4 minutes that we have to hold on for this 1-point lead, and I'm banking that the York is going to go down. Now, if the York goes down, in my head, I say, okay, that's going to give us a little bit more of a cushion. We'll be fine. I'm not going to get spotted. I don't want to get sunk. I throw out to highlight to defend the California, so I want our friendly cruiser to help the California fight the York. That's my thinking. I want the Belfast to help fight the York, right? It's even basically battle there. California, York, it's a pretty even fight, and I'm hoping that the Cali has a damage gun coming up doesn't go down, because if the Cali goes down, we're in a bad spot, right? We're going to be down with about 3 minutes left, and of course California goes down, and then the California also actually burns the York down as well. So what I'm thinking here at this point is I'm going to say, okay, I'm not going to sink 2 U.S. battleships right now. It's just not going to happen. I got 3,000 HP left. I'm going to go into the base, and I'm going to contest the base. And I'm going to contest the base long enough for 16 plus points to tick off. There's no way that these 2 Californias by their base are going to be able to get over and engage our Belfast and sink the Belfast fast enough to flip that score back. So what I'm thinking here is I want the Belfast to get back, right? I'm telling him that your job is to just defend the base, right? Just defend the base. He understands what I'm doing. He goes along with it. This is great teamwork here between that other Belfast and myself. Now, again, I'm not going to sit in the smoke screen. And this is a big issue that I notice with destroyer commanders, is they get lulled into this false sense of security that the smoke is their protection. That the smoke is, I'm not seen, so I'm protected. Well, it's a double-edged sword. So you're not immediately seen in that smoke screen, but I know you're in that smoke screen because you put it out. So I have an idea where you are. I just can't visually see you. So you become a beacon or a lightning rod for enemy cruisers and aggressive anti-destroyer players. So I threw the smoke screen out here, and I did it simply because I don't want to take a chance of getting spotted, because I know this guy's going to be sailing in at me. I know these guys are going to be coming after me, and I'm just watching this tick down, and I'm praying and hoping that I'm able to flip it, and then my plan is to hightail it out of this cap and get as far away from these 2 battleships as possible, because I am one salvo away from going down and losing this game for our team. And we're under 45 seconds. We're in the 30-second mark. So again, I am telling you that other destroyer commanders will make that mistake of sitting inside of that smoke. Now, by no means am I a good destroyer player. Really, the Russian line, the U.S. line, I've just started to grind them a little bit. And I'm only at tier 5, and it's not even leveled up. So I'm just starting to dip my feet into destroyers. I like them to a point. I think they're fun. and they can really, again, influence matches like we did here. But by not sitting in that smoke screen, we are denying the enemy battleships the opportunity to push that smoke screen and sink us. So again, don't get caught in the smoke, and use the smoke as an option, but don't be sucked in and locked in on it. So hope you guys liked the video. I hope you guys thought the build was interesting. If you did, give it a like. We'll see you next time out on the high seas, guys. 2100 base XP. Take care.